Of all movie opening scenes, which one sold the entire film? The opening robbery scene in The Dark Knight. No, I kill the bus driver. Bus driver? What bus driver? The Matrix opening with Trinity was filmed with the entire original budget to convince the studio that they weren't fucking around. I remember watching a YouTube video deconstruct that opening and explain why it's perfect. Example, when we first meet Trinity she's clearly a super badass, and then when you see later in that scene how scared she is of the agent following her. That is how you properly set up a movie antagonist. Just rewatched that based on this comment. Well said. Lord of War. The opening credits follow the life of a bullet. It's manufactured, quality checked, packed into a box and then shipped off to an African nation where it gets loaded into a gun and shot into the head of a child soldier. And then we meet the protagonist, Yuri, Nick Cage, standing on a floor of empty casings. Says there's 550 million firearms in the world, one for every 12th person on the planet. Takes a drag on his cigarette and asks, how do we arm the other 11? *edit misremembered the order of the scenes as a few people have pointed out. Yuri's monologue about one gun for every 12th person then the life of a bullet sequence. Also, thanks for the golds and silvers. I've always hated Nick Cage, but this movie is amazing. My HS ethics teacher showed it to our class and I loved it. Was pumped to see it was on Netflix. Damn this blew up. My hate is definitely unjustified as I've only really seen him in Lord of War, Ghost Rider and Family Man. It looks like I have some Nicolas Cage movies to watch lol. Saving Private Ryan. I saw that right after visiting Omaha Beach. We stayed at a small bed and breakfast quite close to the beach owned by a 80-year-old French woman who told us stories about how it went down. Amazing experience. She said the worst was the smell. It smelled dead bodies years and years afterwards. Much of Asia stopped eating seafood for months after the tsunamis. Because they knew what those sea bugs had been eating. Now all I can think about are the chances of my having eaten something that has fed on human flesh. Jurassic Park. It really sets the tone for the movie and the foreshadowing gives you a creepy feeling leading up to the storm. Shoot hair. Terminator 2. Starting with scenes of bustling everyday life. Rush hour traffic, kids playing, etc. Then white flash to the same burnt-out playground in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Sarah's somber voiceover explaining how it happened. We see a brutal battle between man and machine. Tanks and Terminators crushing human bones under metal treads and feet. We briefly meet the steely face of the human resistance and savior of mankind right before segueing into the opening credits, finishing with an endo-skull grinning through the flames. Fuck yeah, tell me that doesn't get you pumped right there even just reading it. The way the children's laughter slowly fades out before the white flash always gave me chills. Also, seeing the words Los Angeles pop up while looking at a completely unrecognizable apocalyptical landscape. American Psycho. I remember listening to him list out every single thing he does to groom himself in the morning and I thought what a psycho, then thought ooh I get it. LMAO I love the business card scene. Absolutely brilliant. Look at that subtle off-white coloring. The tasteful thickness of it. Oh my god, it even has a watermark. Jaws. You never see the shark in the first attack. Just the knowledge that there's something under the water. Brilliant. Couldn't agree more. My father was a beach lifeguard when the movie originally came out. He has told me stories how people were legitimately afraid to go into the water after seeing the movie. Powerful stuff. Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. The opening scene on the boat in the fog with the young Will and Elizabeth perfectly captures how hilarious, spooky, and kick-ass the rest of the movie is going to be. Also the first Lord of the Rings. So intense and on a massive scale only to be followed by the Happy Shire scenes. Also the scene where we see Captain Jack Sparrow for the first time, on the sinking boat. Confidently stepping onto the dock just as the ship completely sinks, as if that was his plan all along. Such a perfect summary of his character in that one moment. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Are you suggesting coconuts migrate?